Edinburgh, Scotland is known for being one of the most beautiful cities in the world, with its historic attractions, music, interesting foods, and of course many connections to Harry Potter. It's a city with lots to do and to see. For us, we really just had one full day to see as much as we could. So in this video, come along with us as we share with you our journey by high-speed train to Scotland. We'll give you a tour of our ultra-stylish yet dark and moody accommodations. We'll show you the new foods we tried, and spoiler alert, not everyone enjoyed the local dishes. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm Jennifer, and welcome to the Family Fudge. Now, our journey to Scotland begins right where our last video left off in London, and if you missed that video, I will link it down below for you guys. This was the day where we had to check out of our first Airbnb, which I can now safely say was in a pretty well-known area right behind Waterloo Station. From this Airbnb, we had excellent views of the London Eye, and we stayed just around the corner from an interesting little pedestrian tunnel called Leek Street, aka the Graffiti Tunnel. And you guys, this graffiti tunnel was constantly being painted over while we were here. In fact, every time we walked through, we saw something different and new. So our Airbnb was located basically right on top of an Iceland little grocery store. Honestly, when they say that London is an expensive city to live in, they're not joking. So we said goodbye to our Airbnb and we took an Uber over to King's Cross Station. Now, I didn't get too much footage outside of the station since it was really busy, but I have to say I was a little bit surprised that this real King's Cross Station wasn't exactly like the fake King's Cross Station at Universal Studios in Orlando. They do look similar, but I thought they would be exactly the same. Now, since this is King's Cross Station and home of Platform 9 3/4, they did offer this really fun little photo shoot. You guys, this was so much fun. I got pictures of all of the kids, and they do allow you to take your own photos, which is really great. Next to the photo spot, they had quite an extensive Harry Potter gift shop. Now, we opted not to go in and look around since we did have plans to visit the Harry Potter studio tour after our trip to Scotland. I'll be sharing that with you guys in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. We made sure to get to the station early enough to grab some lunch to take with us on the train. All of the kids opted for a sandwich meal deal, but when I saw a place called Wasabi, this store had Pocky-like treats, katsu curry, which is my favorite, and some very fancy looking mochi. Now, even though we were headed to Scotland, I thought this Japanese type lunch would be perfect for this train because the Lumos train we were about to get on is actually quite a lot like a bullet train in Japan, but the Lumos train is a lot more basic. We ended up paying about £60 per person round trip, but what we didn't know when we booked our tickets is that we actually picked seats that were going to be backwards. Honestly, I imagined enjoying this train ride, being able to look out the window at the countryside, but since this train was moving so fast and we were sitting backwards, I didn't really get that experience. Because these electric Lumos trains can speed up to 125 miles per hour, the ride time from London's King's Cross Station to Edinburgh's Waverley Station was just about 4.5 hours. If you were to do the same journey by car, you would be looking at almost 9 hours. When we made it to the station, we had time to look around for a bit before hopping into an Uber to head to our Airbnb. Since I knew this was going to be a really short stay for us, I wanted to pick an Airbnb with character, and you guys, this place definitely delivered. First, you come in the little entryway, and then you have to go up to the second floor. And no elevators here. You gotta take all of your luggage up by yourself. This was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath flat in an area called Comley Bank. At least I think it's called Comley Bank. Sometimes I'm really not sure how to pronounce certain location names. They can be really tricky. And check this out, you guys. So much detail must have gone into decorating this place. Every little nook and cranny has something interesting to look at. And like I said, this flat was definitely a little dark and moody, but I absolutely loved it. Back at our house in Florida, pretty much all of our walls are white and pretty basic. It's a little bit farmhousey in style, and in comparison, this place is almost the exact opposite. Okay guys, come on in. Come see it.
Whoa, this is so cool.
Check out the living room. Come see this room.
Whoa, I like this room.
Kenzie gets this room?
Yeah, there's a face up
Look,
here.
this one has a bathroom. Okay guys, so there's one more room, but it's very narrow. And I think the girl should have a turn and the boy should have a turn.
Whoa, I want this room. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want the top.
You guys can take turns. Look at the wallpaper.
Bugs.
And look at these steps.
Cool.
You have to be, listen, you have to be really careful on these steps to not fall off.
Can I have it for the first night?
Yes.
I want it for the first night.
Yes, boys are in here tonight. Okay guys, so just down the road from our little Airbnb was a grocery store called Waitrose, but they were gonna close and we only had about 10 minutes to grab a few things for tomorrow and the next day. So for tonight's dinner, we went ahead and just got some ready-made meals, and everybody kind of picked something different. I picked this sausage and mash. My husband picked the braised beef and mash. Jackson picked spaghetti and meatballs. And Kenzie picked the chicken parmesan. Lily and Griffin picked mac and cheese. So for breakfast tomorrow, we needed something quick and easy because we're hoping to do lots of sightseeing tomorrow. So we got some cereal and some milk. I picked up these because they looked really interesting. These are cheese scones. And then these also looked really interesting. These are called Welsh cakes. And they have, it's like a little biscuit with currants and sultanas. I'm not quite sure. We're gonna try those. I also got a couple of different kinds of yogurt. I know this isn't very Scottish, but I also got some Yakult. I love this stuff. Now, I'm not really into cereal, so I got a couple of porridge cups. We love these. I also got a couple of snack bars that we can take with us as we are sightseeing tomorrow. We got some little cheddar cheese snacks. We got a couple of strawberry banana smoothies. And then I picked out these. These are hobnobs, which I have tried before. It's kind of like a chocolate covered graham cracker, but this one is in the sticky toffee pudding flavor. And anything that says sticky toffee pudding, I want to try.
8 hours later.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah!
Where are we going today?
Well, we were gonna go in a toy bus. Yeah.
What are you gonna see?
A ladder coaster.
Maybe a castle?
Yeah.
A castle on top of a volcano?
Wow.
It's not a volcano anymore, but let's go. Now this day was going to be our only full day to see the city of Edinburgh, and they were calling for rain, so we decided to Uber over to St. Andrew's Park because that's where you can get on the hop-on, hop-off bus tours. Just like the ones that we loved when we were in London. We found out that the entire bus loop around the city was going to take at least 2 hours. So before we got on the bus, we decided to pop into the Scottish National Portrait Gallery so we could look around a bit and, most importantly, to use their bathroom. So after our little toilet break, it was finally time to hop on the bus. Thankfully, it did not rain. Now, at lunchtime, we really weren't sure what we were going to do. So I literally just got out my phone and I Googled cheap lunch places in Edinburgh that are good for families with kids. And the closest place to us was called Weatherspoon. I later found out that Weatherspoon, or Spoons as they say in the UK, is kind of like a chain of pubs. The one that we visited here in Edinburgh used to be in a bank. This place ended up having a pretty good kids menu, lots of pub style foods, and they even had some Indian style curry. Now on the drink menu, they had something called Iron Brew. Now I had heard that this was a very Scottish drink, so I definitely wanted us to all try it. But at first I was a little bit worried that it was alcoholic. Once I found out that it was not, we all gave it a try. Overall, this drink was super sweet, and I was surprised that even though it's orange in color, it's not actually orange flavored. Now for our lunch, Lily got the kids meal with a banana, some sausages, beans, and fries. But of course here, they don't call them fries, they call them chips. Lily especially loved the baked beans, which are actually a lot different than the US style baked bean. They're definitely not as sweet. Now Griffin opted for the kids meal with mac and cheese, fruit, and chips. He gave the mac and cheese just a thumbs to the side, and that means he didn't really love it, but it wasn't bad either. And then there was the haggis. If you really want to know what haggis is, I think you should Google it yourself, but it is a very Scottish dish, and I've tried it before and I like it. I think it tastes like sausage. But as you can tell, not all of the kids were fans of the haggis. Now with our lunch, I also ordered a side of halloumi cheese. This is something that I love getting at Epcot. And then for my lunch, one of the things I really wanted to try in London was something called a full English breakfast, but I never got the chance. So when I saw something like that on this menu, I decided to give it a try. As for Jackson, he got the American style burger, and Mackenzie got the kids' chicken strips. After lunch, we got back on our bus tour for a while before heading over to some of the most popular spots in the city. We walked the Royal Mile, then went over to Victoria Street. That was my favorite. And then we ended our day at a beautiful spot that I'm constantly seeing on Instagram, and it's called Dean's Village. This area was so beautiful, but also very popular. And right nearby, we came across a little park for the kids to play while we sent up the drone for these awesome shots. The next morning, bright and early, it was already time to leave Scotland. So we said goodbye to our Airbnb and we made our way back to the train station for our journey back to London. Make sure to stay tuned for next week's video, which includes lots more interesting stops, lots more interesting food, and our scary experience driving for the first time in the UK. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.